Hey there, young news hounds. Welcome to News Blast, your weekly roundup of what's happening around the globe. I'm your host, Newser, and this is our episode for April 21st, 2025. Today, we're diving into the top stories from last week, April 13th to April 19th. So grab a seat and let's blast off with the news. First up, on April 14th, Japan launched a new eco-friendly train in Tokyo. This train runs on hydrogen power, which means it's super clean and doesn't pollute the air. It's a big step toward advancing clean transportation. Next, on April 15th, Brazil hosted a huge festival in Rio de Janeiro to celebrate indigenous cultures. Thousands of people came to enjoy music, dance, and art from native communities. It was a colorful way to honor the country's history. Over in Kenya, on April 16th, scientists discovered a new species of fish in Lake Victoria. This shiny silver fish is about the size of your hand and loves to swim in deep waters. Cool, right? And on April 18th, France opened a new museum in Paris dedicated to video games. It's packed with old and new games, showing how they've shaped fun and creativity over the years. Who's ready to visit? Now, let's zoom into the United States. On April 13th, a massive cleanup effort took place in California's beaches. Volunteers picked up tons of plastic and trash to keep the oceans clean for fish and surfers. On April 14th, President Donald Trump announced a new initiative to boost technology education for kids in rural schools. The plan provides funding for computers and coding programs to help kids learn high-tech skills. In Texas, on April 15th, a huge wind farm opened, creating energy for thousands of homes. These giant turbines use the power of the wind to make electricity. On April 16th, New York City held its annual science fair, where middle schoolers showed off awesome projects. One kid built a robot that picks up litter. Talk about a clean sweep. In Florida, on April 17th, a rare sea turtle nest was found on a beach. Scientists are protecting the eggs to help these endangered turtles grow strong. And on April 19th, a new library opened in Chicago, Illinois, that offers free coding classes for kids. It's a great spot to learn how to make apps or games. Time for some tech talk. On April 14th, a company in California tested a flying car prototype. It zoomed 200 feet in the air and landed safely. Maybe one day, we'll all be cruising the skies. On April 16th, NASA shared new photos from a Mars rover that were taken on April 15th. These new pictures show red, rocky cliffs and even a strange, shiny rock that scientists are studying. Space is so wild. And on April 18th, a new app launched that helps kids learn how to code through fun games. It's like playing a video game while learning how to build one. Pretty neat, huh? Let's check in on health news. On April 13th, a study in Boston found that eating colorful fruits like berries and oranges can boost your energy. So grab an apple and feel awesome. On April 15th, a new park opened in Atlanta, Georgia, with exercise trails for kids and families. It's designed to make staying active super fun, with climbing walls and obstacle courses. And on April 17th, doctors in Seattle, Washington, started a program to teach kids about mental health. It helps young people learn how to manage stress and stay happy. Now, let's hit the field for sports. On April 19th, the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs kicked off with a bang. The Winnipeg Jets beat the St. Louis Blues 5-3 in their first game, and the Colorado Avalanche topped the Dallas Stars 5-1. The chase for the Stanley Cup is on. On April 16th, the U.S. women's soccer team played an exciting match against Canada in Ohio. They tied 2-2, showing off some amazing teamwork. On April 18th, a marathon in Boston, Massachusetts, saw over 30,000 runners, including some first-time racers. Everyone cheered as they crossed the finish line. And for our kid athletes, on April 15th, a national kids soccer tournament kicked off in Orlando, Florida. Teams from all over the U.S. competed, and one team from Texas won the Under-12 championship. Let's take a trip back in time for some historical facts from April 13th to April 19th. On April 13, 1743, Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president, was born. He helped write the Declaration of Independence. On April 14, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln was sadly shot at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. He passed away the next day, but his work for equality lives on. We discussed last week that it launched on April 10th, and on April 15, 1912, the Titanic sank after hitting an iceberg. Over 1,500 people were lost, but it led to better safety rules for ships. On April 16, 1927, the first successful television broadcast of a speech by a government official was demonstrated in New York City. It paved the way for the TV shows we love today. On April 17, 1961, the Bay of Pigs invasion happened in Cuba. It was a failed attempt by the U.S. to overthrow the communist dictator, Fidel Castro. And on April 18, 1906, a big earthquake hit San Francisco, California, shaking the city. It led to stronger buildings and better plans for emergencies. Now, for some famous birthdays. On April 13, 1963, chess champion Garry Kasparov was born. On April 14, 1973, actor Adrian Brody came into the world. On April 16, 1889, silent film star Charlie Chaplin was born. And on April 18, 1984, actress America Ferrera was born. Happy birthday to them all. That's it for this edition of News Blast. We'll see you next time. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel to stay all caught up on the news. This is Newser, signing off. Stay curious, everyone.